the CZ P-10F. Let's check it out. CZ introduced the P-10C in 2017, and it was a direct competitor to the Glock 19, which is one of Glock's most popular pistols. And it's one of those type sizes that's perfect for range day, but also for concealed carry, because it's that medium compact size. But one of the big things about the P-10C was the trigger. I mean, it was a phenomenal trigger, and the grip angle was that CZ75 kind of style, and it's been a very popular firearm. But in 2018, they introduced the P-10F, and this is a full-size polymer frame striker fire pistol. Holds 19+1 and has all the same features as the P-10C. So while competing with the Glock 17, it actually has 2 additional rounds. Now, we really appreciate Nate over at Guns on Deals for sending the CZ P-10F. This is one that I've wanted for a good while. I'm a big fan of the P-10C, and this just gives you a full-size option. The CZ P-10F, and that stands for full size. These are currently being used by the Czech Republic military, also with a number of Polish police agencies, national police agencies. One of the big things about the P-10 series is it's a polymer striker fire pistol, and yet the ergonomics are very similar to the original CZ75, which is one of those legendary firearms with the grip. I mean, the grip is so ergonomic, but yet it's an all-steel pistol. Double single action. This is also going to give you a 19 round mag capacity. Let's go ahead and drop our magazine, check the chamber, and it's empty. With the magazines, I mean, they are flush fit, and that's one of the big pluses for this pistol. Even though it's 19 round magazine, you don't have a lot hanging off the end. And then you do get 2 magazines. They're good quality mags, and CZ always does a good job, has all the witness holes. But, I mean, this gives you 38 rounds with 2 magazines. And there are additional base plates that'll add +2, and so that's going to give you 21 rounds. And these do come with your 10-round magazine as well, for those states that aren't so free. Now, this particular model is in the sniper gray finish, and that is an exclusive from Guns on Deals. And they're also offering a bronze finish. But CZ does offer the FDE color, and they also offer an OD color. And of course, this is the P-10C, and you can see it is for the compact. It's a little bit smaller than the P-10F. The P-10F has a 4.5-inch barrel. The P-10C has a 4.01-inch barrel. And the P-10C holds 15 rounds compared to the 19 rounds of the P-10F. And then we have the P-10S, which is their subcompact, and it holds 12 rounds. And of course, these guns have been safety checked, but this holds 12 rounds, and it has a 3.5-inch barrel. So this is more marketed toward the concealed carry. But now CZ is also offering their P-10M, which is a single stack. It's 7+1 with a lot of the same features of the P-10 series. Now this particular P-10S is optics ready, and all of these are also available in optics ready versions, or you can get it like this one that's not optics ready. So there's just a lot of choices. The slide has a nice black nitride finish on it, and I mean, it is going to be impervious to the elements. The barrel, which again is 4.5 inches, it is a hammer forged barrel, which is some of the best quality barrels out there. It's just going to extend the life of your barrel. We have a 2-slot Picatinny rail. We have a squared trigger guard that's really ample for gloved hands. You do have serrations on the front, and then we have the serrations on the grip. Now this grip again is very similar to your CZ75 grip. So it's a very natural grip, it has a natural point of aim, and it seems to just line the sights up. But there's nice texturing on the front and back that's a little more aggressive than the texturing here on the sides. And this is where you grab the pistol. So this is the most important part, to have this locked in your hand. But the other part is that when you bring this up, you have a really low bore axis. And that is going to aid in flat shooting. And guys, I'll tell you, between the grip angle of this pistol and that really low bore axis, this is a very soft shooting gun. It has very little muzzle rise. It's one of the things about a low bore axis to me that's really important. That's some of my favorite guns to shoot, because you can get that hand up really high, and when the slide comes back, the leverage in your hand absorbs a lot of the recoil, and it keeps the muzzle under control. You think about it this way: if you grip down here, the gun's just going to flip wildly. So the more you get your hand up to the slide, the less muzzle flip that you're going to have, and that's just physics. Now, CZ had produced a number of different handguns over the years, rifles, shotguns, but when the CZ75 came out in 1975, it was a game changer. In fact, it was one of the most popular firearms for militaries in the world for a number of years. Now, this is an all-steel frame pistol. It holds 15+1. One of the big things, though, about this gun that really makes it unique, the slide rails are on the outside of the slide, and then you have internal rails right here. Makes a very flat shooting, smooth firearm. But another big plus for the CZ was the grip. And that grip is just super ergonomic. Of course, you have your beaver tail here. I mean, guys, it's really close to the same dimensions, even in the front. And that's the way CZ designed it. They designed it to have that more of a ergonomic grip, that the way that hump comes back, it just fits the hand very naturally. But one of the things that's kind of surprising is that the bore axis is actually lower in the P-10F. If you get this right here, you can see that the slide comes up higher than it does on the polymer frame younger brother. But those internal slide rails make a huge difference with shooting. It's a very flat shooting gun. The magazine release is metal. The original P-10C had an ambidextrous slide release. Now this can be switchable to the other side, but it was a little stiff. And here we have the P-10C with the ambidextrous magazine releases. And, you know, I don't have that much of a problem popping those mags out, but it is just a touch stiff. Now, we've shot this thing quite a bit, and so it works its way out over time, and it doesn't really take that long. You have an ambidextrous slide stop, which is kind of minimal, but yet it gives you a lot to grab hold of. And then we have our takedown levers right here, and we'll look at that in a second. The slide has really nice front and rear cocking serrations, and they're deep. And so it gives you a really good purchase on the slide serrations, press checks, or if you like to rack it that way. But that just gives you a nice confident grip on the pistol. The 3-dot sights are luminescent, and they're not necessarily night sights, but any light that's showing with these, they'll gather and they'll glow. Or you can take a flashlight and you can put it right on them. But there are a lot of different options, and these are steel. They are windage adjustable. And then, of course, you have your front sight, which is typical for CZ. It just slides into the front of the slide. But there are a lot of different sight options, whether you want to go with fiber optic, night sights, whatever your choice is, there's a lot out there on the market. Now, one thing I also like about the grip is right here is a memory pad, and it has that texturing that's on the side of the grip. So when I grip it, I just naturally put my finger here before I shoot, and then when I finish shooting, I just put my finger here. And of course, it's on the other side as well. The slide has nice cuts, and it's kind of beveled down, and it gets longer, the radius gets deeper all the way out. And then we have our bevels here at the nose of the pistol, so it's just going to aid in entering this into holsters. These are compatible with Glock holsters, so this would be compatible with your Glock 17. The P-10C is compatible with your Glock 19. Now that's most holsters, and if a holster is really designed very close, sometimes there can be a little bit of a difference, but I have a lot of holsters that I can switch these in and out with. Now really the gun that started it all was the Glock 17. And this is a 9mm. It's 17+1 in the magazine. They use the polymer magazines, and the chamber's empty. Now I have a Wheaton Arms custom barrel in here, but otherwise it's stock. But I want to give you a comparison between the two just because this is kind of a benchmark. Now, while the barrels are the exact same length, the slide is a little bit shorter on the Glock, probably about 1/4 of an inch. And then, of course, down here you have just a little bit, and it's really the base pad. And that's giving you 2 extra rounds because we have 19 in the P-10F. One thing about it, though, is the grip on the P-10F is very ergonomic. It just fits in your hand really well. The Glock has that little bit of a larger grip. And this is the Gen 4, but it has no back strap. Now, I love Glocks. I've been shooting them for years, and I'm used to it. But definitely, if I put this in my hand and then switch to the CZ, it's definitely a lot nicer feeling grip. It just feels a little thinner, and I can get a better grip on it. And when it comes to the bore axis, guys, the slides are exactly the same. But the sight on the CZ is raised up. It's a larger sight, so it sticks up just a little bit. I'm sure that you could put some night sights on here that would be thinner and drop that down. But honestly, overall, I mean, you're getting your hand in about the same area with the Glock as you are with the CZ. And the Glock has a really low bore axis. Now, this being a Gen 4, I wanted to bring out the Gen 5 because that's the latest version of the Glock. This is the Model 45. It's in 9mm. It's the short slide with the long grip. But the texturing on here, on the Glock, it's really nice. On the back strap, the CZ is actually a little more aggressive, and the front strap. But the Glock still has really good texturing. The CZ just has a little extra. But the serrations on the CZ are a little deeper, but they're a little shorter. And then with the Glock, and of course this one does have the front cocking serrations as well. Now, I'm not going to go through checking the trigger pull weight and all that. I mean, the Glock is known for having a mushy trigger. And it's just, they have improved it over the years. Even with the Gen 5, it's a little better. But it definitely doesn't come close to the P-10F or any of the P-10 series CZs. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of Glock. I've been shooting Glocks since the 80s. And I love Glocks. And I've put so many rounds through them, I've really invested a lot of time into Glocks. But as far as the grip, you know, the CZ definitely wins, and the trigger for sure. Does that mean I'm getting rid of my Glocks? No, but this P-10C, man, is a great gun to take to the range. And really, if you're not a Glock guy, this is a great gun to start out with. Now, one of the things about the P-10 series is they have an excellent trigger. And for a striker fire pistol, sometimes it can be hard to achieve. We're seeing a lot better triggers, but I've even compared this to the PPQ, and the CZ, to me, had a better trigger. Now, this has the little safety, so unless you're really getting a full grip on the trigger, you're not able to engage the safety. And so when we push this down, we have some take up, just right, and we hit a wall. Once you hit that wall, just a little resistance and then a nice clean break. Reset, super fast. I let it out even before I finished. So it's a really quick reset, really nice crisp trigger. We have our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. Let's check the trigger pull weight. 4 pounds, 7.5 ounces. 4 pounds, 8.9 ounces. So it's about the 4.5 pound mark. Now also, the P-10 series has more of a flat face trigger. And so that's one of the things about the geometry of that flat face. It's a little easier to pull directly back. It gives you a little better trigger pull. And so a lot of different companies are going to the flat face trigger because it's just a superior trigger. I want to thank Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA, largest supplier of ammunition in the country. Also, we appreciate Lula loaders. These Mag Lulas are the bomb, especially when it comes to loading these 18-round magazines. Now, one of the big things about the P-10F is the low bore axis, and because of that, it is a very flat shooting firearm. And I think a lot of that has to do with the grip angle. It's that CZ75 feel to it, and yet it's a striker fire pistol, and it reduces the weight quite a bit because your CZ75 is an all steel pistol. One of the things about this pistol, though, is it just allows your hand to get really high up on the grip. And while the CZ75 has those internal slide rails, it makes this gun feel like it has internal slide rails because it shoots, again, so flat. Robbie Wheaton and I both were just surprised at how manageable the recoil was on this, which 9mm is not really that big of a deal, but guys, you want to be able to get on target fast. And if you have a low bore axis and have very little muzzle flip, it allows you to get right on target. With the full size, it's a little bit more pointable than the P-10C because of that little bit of a longer slide and also a little bit more sight radius.
That thing is so flat. It is so flat shooting.
Low bore axis, so flat shooting.
Yeah, I really didn't expect it to be as soft as it is, but it's really like shooting the all steel frame CZ with a polymer frame gun. It's that flat.
Yeah, I agree. And that trigger is it's such a clean break on it.
Yeah, you never even notice the trigger.
Yeah.
Never even notice it when you're pulling it. That's an impressive pistol.
You know, I really like the P-10C, and I know the F's been out for a while, and I've just been like, okay, I like the P-10C, but I think I like that better.
I do too. I do too. The full-size grip on it, even with somebody with big hands like me, there's still plenty of room down here. We're doing mag changes and stuff and not pinching my fingers. The grip on this pistol is it's so ergonomic.
Yeah, it really is. But yet there's not a lot going on. It's very simple.
No, it just fits like a glove.
Yeah, I love it. We want to give Lennon a proper salute with the CZ. Yeah, I think that did it. Looks pretty good on the rubber dummy. Now when it comes to disassembly, we're going to drop our magazine, go ahead and check the chamber again. First thing I want to do is to pull the trigger, bring back the slide about 1/4 of an inch, and then pull down on your takedown tabs. Very similar to the Glock. Then we have our recoil spring and guide rod. It is metal. And then we have our barrel, and that's really beefy compared to Glock. Of course, the interior of the gun is just incredible. I mean, no machining marks, very smooth finish. But definitely your striker here, and it's a little bit different setup. You have your striker block right back here, but very similar to your Glock design, which is the pioneer for a lot of your striker fire pistols. And then, of course, you have your frame, and again, a lot of similarities. There are some differences, but very solidly made. And guys, that's all you need to do to field strip for cleaning and maintenance. Just to reassemble, drop in your barrel, recoil spring and guide rod, bring it back over the slide, test for function, and we're good to go. Very simple design, and I really like simple. Weight on the P-10F, 1 pound, 12.4 ounces. Weight on the P-10C, 1 pound, 9.8 ounces. Weight on the P-10S, 1 pound, 8.8 ounces. Now CZs come in a really nice box. Of course, you get your pistol, extra magazine, you get 2 additional back straps, you get a cleaning rod, a cleaning brush, your manual, and a lock. Now you get a couple of Allen wrenches to change your sight, and then you get a dummy round. Now I've never seen this before with any other pistol, but it has a small cavity in the back, and you have these little spacers or little cushions, and you just place them in there, and it just protects the firing pin. To be honest with you, striker fire pistols can go an infinite amount of times without breaking the firing pin. And so this is just nice, and for those of you who want it, it's just a little nice touch, and it's just an added measure of keeping your gun maintained. Now when it comes to price, because this is a custom Cerakote finish, it runs $589. You can get the Optics Ready models. They're going to run you a little bit more. And just with the factory black or the OD or FDE, you know, the prices are going to run a little bit less. But as far as pros and cons, one of the big pros is the trigger. Just an exceptional trigger. Right out of the box, You don't have to send it anywhere. I mean, obviously there are probably companies that'll do that for you if you really want to get it fine-tuned, but it's an excellent trigger out of the box. Ergonomics, the grip angle, CZ75. It's just excellent, and it feels really good in your hand. You've got your multiple back straps. You can change that out. Slide serrations are really good and solid. You know, it's 19+1 in a flush fit magazine. You can get the extra rounds for the base plate if you want. Sight compatibility, holster compatibility with even the Glock 17 will fit most of those. And it's just, again, it's CZ quality, which really is a benchmark. I mean, it's one of those guns that has stood the test of time, and they put out really quality products. As far as any cons go, you know, guys, we didn't have any cons. We shot this probably about 1,000 rounds through this gun, and we didn't have any malfunctions. I mean, we just shot it and didn't expect any. You know, the optics plate would be nice if you wanted to get that model. If you like to run red dots, it's really up and coming. You have your accessory rail. Just overall, it's just an excellent firearm. And there's not really any cons. It's mainly about preference. There's a lot of choices out there. I mean, HK, CZ, Springfield Armory, Glock, Smith & Wesson. I mean, there's just a huge list. So really, it gets down to a matter of preference, because all of these guns have their pluses and minuses for personal preference. But to me, as far as just a really quality, solid gun with a lot of great features, the P-10 series is excellent. This P-10F at the range is just exceptional.
That thing is so flat. It is so flat shooting. Wow.
Guys, we had a great time with the P-10F. Again, I wasn't all that excited. I really like that more compact size of the P-10C. It's just got a lot of options with concealed carry or with range day. I mean, it shoots like a full-size gun until you bring out the P-10F. And this definitely has some advantages at the range. And we really enjoyed shooting it. That low bore axis makes this very flat shooting. And again, we appreciate the guys over at Gun Zone Deals for sending the P-10F for this review. And guys, again, if you want that sniper gray finish or the bronze finish, those are available, and those are exclusive to Gun Zone Deals. Or if you just want the standard black version, they offer those as well. And we really appreciate those guys for sending guns that we can bring to you for review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Weight on the P-10F with a, and you also get a couple of, and then with just the spline, this also is going to give you 19 rounds. Is that right? If you really like to put that, okay.
Well, I thought we changed that.
Oh, I guess we did, didn't we?
Yes.
What the heck am I thinking?
I don't know.
Man, I feel like I have blown through that whole thing. Let's do it again. We just need to do this all over again because we want to do it right.